All right, we're back with another 10-Minute Tuesday, and Joey and I are just going to recap some of our favorite hunts from the year. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You look like you're ready to go.
I can start.
Give her.
I can start. So, one of my favorite hunts from this year was the first hunt that I had at the Meadow with you and Gavin, and who else was it that we were there? Yeah, Bartle. Yeah, that was fun, man. And it was actually a little bit sketchy, actually, if we're being honest, because of how much water there was there. And the absolutely just rickety... I don't even know how deep that actual, like, walkway was once we put it.
The creek is like 10 feet deep.
Yeah. Yeah, the creek is 10 feet deep, and Gavin bought, like, a 3-foot, too short.
Who do you think came up with that idea?
You.
No.
But you wanted him too short?
No, I told him to get 14-footers.
And he bought 10s.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, so essentially this creek overflows with water, and the creek is 10 feet deep. And so it butts up to some sort of ag, and then the meadow is a grass field. And then there's usually another piece of ag outside of that other side of the grass.
Mm-hmm.
So when that creek floods, it spills over into the grass, not baiting whatsoever. And usually you can stand in some sort of the ag. One side is always beans, one side's always corn.
Mm-hmm.
And the side that had corn this year was on the inner side of the creek.
Across the creek.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever you shot birds, you had to cross the creek.
Yeah.
If his dog couldn't go and grab them.
Yep.
And he goes, man, how am I gonna go get birds across that thing? You have to like go down and then get to the shallowest part of the creek and then come across. So you pretty much have to go around the entire thing. It's a pain in the ass.
Sketchy too. Really sketchy.
Well, it's sketchy if you're trying to cross
if you
it.
went all the way, yeah. But who crossed it though? Tommy crossed it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I crossed it too.
Yeah.
Crossed it quite a few times. I ain't no bitch.
Yeah. It was like one 2x10 that was like at an angle, and then another one at another angle, and you had to rely on them to not, because they kept wanting to move in the water.
Right.
So then you had to kind of, yeah.
Well, it was probably about 8 feet across, right?
The creek?
Yeah.
No.
Well, they were 2x12x10s.
Yeah, they didn't reach across the creek, bud.
Oh, they did.
No. One of them was at an angle into the other creek bed, then the other one was at an angle into the other board. So it wasn't like on, it was like it angled down in, and then the other one kind of angled down at it.
All I remember is that the current coming out of that creek was pretty harsh.
Intense.
So we had to take 2x4s to keep the water from pushing the 2x12s across.
Like wedge it in.
Yeah, we had to wedge it in. So it like 2x4s are like this, and the 2x12s just kept hitting.
Yeah, so sketch.
Yeah. We shot the fuck out of the mallards that day.
Out of mallards that day.
And
it was so fun. We were picking out birds. It was perfect. They were working really good. And that was the first time I hunted with Bartle.
Yeah.
And it was fun. He's just a fun dude to hunt with. It was just a fun group. It was a smaller group, not a ton of us, close to home, slept in kind of. We didn't have to get there super, super early. No. And that was my first time hunting the Meadow.
Yeah.
Was this year. So that was a really fun one for sure. I don't know. It's hard to say, like, what's your favorite hunt. I mean, I can't say that one of my favorite hunts for sure, if not my favorite, was that Idaho hunt.
So you said one. No, I'll say one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So we'll go back and forth.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that works, actually. Yeah, I learned that.
Because there's more than one person here. So
Cool.
So one of your favorites was the Meadow.
Yeah.
Also same.
Okay.
But I got to hunt the Meadow like 4 or 5 times.
I already did that one, though. So just do something original.
Just adding to... So, probably to kick off the year was shooting 15 bands and 38 geese with Joe Johnson in North Dakota.
That was pretty good.
That was bad. He goes, we're definitely going to shoot some bands. So naturally I'm excited, hire Carter to come out and film a video, yank Wade, and we get there super late. We wake up way too early, get out there pushing hay bales around, and it's goose opener for early season. So you never know how it's going to go. So I'm just like, whatever happens, man. Whenever anyone amps up early season opener, I'm like, okay, sounds good. Because the amount of times you just get screwed they just go the opposite direction. I mean, they still have eggshells on their head. They just hatched like a month and a half before that, 2 months before that. They can barely fly. And we had a really good wind. And the geese decoyed so good for first day. It was like gross.
Yeah.
And we shot 15 freaking bands, and I took 3 home.
Yeah, I was getting the text message updates. It was insane. It was guys, it was insane. Carter texts me. It's
Cal's
like,
working.
I'm working. Yeah, I'm building a deck. Carter texts me. What time was it? Like 7:30.
Yep.
First text comes through. 4 bands. I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. And I honestly, at that point, I was like, what a great hunt. I'm not joking you. Carter texts me 15 minutes later. Says
8 bands.
8 bands. I'm like, how many birds have you shot?
16.
Nope. 12. Wasn't it 12 at that point? It was
like
8
11
for,
or
it was
12.
like 8 for 12, dude. I'm like, what? And I'm reading this and I'm like, this is insane. This is insane. And the text kept coming. Like every 30 minutes I get 10 bands. And then he said 12. I said 12 birds? He said bands. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, he was just giving you numbers.
Yeah, he was just sending me numbers. Yeah, number updates. And by the end of it, he stopped texting me. So I texted him at like 10 or something. He's like, yeah, we're done. We're getting photos right now. He's like, yeah, we have 15 bands down. Like,
We should have had 16. We saw a banded one sail across the pond. And Joe went out in his boxers through the cattails searching for this thing. He was, what, an hour?
At least.
Hour and 15 minutes trudging through there with a dog. Went swimming in the pond. Wild.
Damn.
Wild. Really, really search for that bird.
Couldn't find it.
No.
Wonder what happened.
Well, I'm sure he tucked himself up or kamikazed himself, found a root underground, and just held his breath.
on.
Yeah.
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 It's so crazy that they do that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
I mean, shit. If you know someone's going to kill you and you could jump off a building, I think a lot of people would jump off the building.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like imagine like a Sasquatch, right? Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You look at that guy, or a grizzly bear. Grizzly bear.
Yep.
You want to get eaten alive, or do you want to jump off the building?
I'd take my chances.
Yep. Killing
Really?
that bear.
Yeah, bro. I just
You're gonna kill the bear, Carter?
dude, you know what I'll do?
Headlock.
I'll stand like this and wait for him to charge me, then jump out of the way and let him dive himself off the building.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I could end up getting mauled for sure, but I'm a fighter, baby. I'm not going to quit. What to you makes the perfect hunt? Like what makes a great hunt for you?
There's so many factors.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, but
talk about them.
Atmosphere, the
Yep.
people you're with,
Yep.
the birds you shoot, if you shoot a band or not, if you're watching your dog work, or if there's just a good dog working, how the birds do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been so many hunts, especially on this wall, where we only shoot like 4 or 5 ducks for 4 people, but the time we had together in the place we were at, and the stories told and the laughs told was just so amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was the scenery, you know, like when I was down at CBI and getting to hunt with Roy and just trading stories with him and hearing him duck call and watching how he calls ducks and learning from him. And I was already done shooting my birds, but just like being there and being a part of that was so cool because Rob used to go down there and hunt with him.
Yeah.
You know? And so we were trading stories about my dad, of what he did back in the day and like all of his friends. Like that was so cool to me. Didn't really pull the trigger.
Yeah.
You know? So it was just like.
Yeah, I would say like number one factor is who you're with.
Yeah.
100%. Because everything else after that can get great, or, you know, the birds can be really good or whatever, but dude, if you're I've been on great hunts where there was, you know, kind of a disheveled group of people, or just like kind of a weird, you know,
Cranky.
Cranky people, or just whatever the situation is, dude. And even in a great hunt, when people are crabby and it sucks and you're not getting along or there's no vibe, it's just like, poo poo.
Yeah. Poo poo.
Yeah. Poo poo.
Did you have one more story for us?
Another hunt?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to discount how amazing shooting that 4-man of mallards was in Idaho. I'm not going to, like, it was just too perfect, man.
Yeah.
And they gave us such great opportunity. They were not fucking around that much. They were very, you know, it was group by group, 3 birds or 4 birds or 2, and they weren't really doing anything other than committing. I mean, I don't know how else to say
It's
this,
true.
but like they literally were just they'd come off a cornfield, dude, and it was like, "Aye, Poppy, come here."
I could hear them say that too.
Yeah, and they were right there, and it was a lot of drakes too.
Oh, it was like
I mean,
mainly drakes.
Mainly drakes, yeah. I mean,
They're
groups.
looking for their pairs.
It was crazy. It was like, it was 3 after 3 after 3, and it was like 3 drakes, 2 drakes in one hand, 3 drakes, 3 drakes. It was just crazy. And it was perfect, and we had pretty good shooting that day for the most part. Let a few go away, but didn't matter in the end. So, yeah, that was an insane hunt.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. When we finished that, I was very wet.
I just have like a general like best hunts of the year. Like all the bands that I shot this year, though, that was so much fun for sure. But going down to Iowa and get Hank on his first hunt,
Yeah.
watch him retrieve 15 geese in the morning in a band and do so good on his first hunt ever. And just like how cool everyone in the blind was. Like they understood like I was there to run my dog. But at the same time, like when I shot the band, they were just like, "Oh, it's yours." Like no questions. Like no, "Oh, I think I shot that one too." They were just so chill and so like just relaxed. And we were all had a great time. Went to the restaurant afterwards, Matt's restaurant, Tekka, and just like that whole day was just unbelievable vibe.
Perfect.
And then he's like, "Dude, tell your wife you're not coming home till late."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, I can't." He's like, "We're going to shoot mallards tonight, Joe. We never get mallards here. They're here now. It's literally a minute from my house. It'll take us 20 minutes to set up." I'm like, Roy was like, "Go ahead." So he retrieved 15 geese in the morning and then retrieved 8 ducks that night. We shot our mallard limit, and he retrieved every bird. And I'm just like, oh, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
It was so good. So on his first hunt, on his first day of hunting, he picked up 23 birds.
Yeah.
He's easily got over 100 retrieves by now. In his first 2 months of hunting.
That's so cool, man.
That's sick.
Yeah. Definitely
That's
a
sick.
special season.
Oh my God. And in that 100+ birds that he's picked up, 5 of them have been banded.
Yeah, it's sick. So cool.
Very
Lucky
cool.
dog.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Carter got some sick ass pics from that golf course hunt.
Yeah.
That one where he's tackling the goose and all 4 paws are off the ground. That was wild.
Levitating.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's levitating because he's so angry at the bird. But yeah.
Sick. Well, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Make sure to check us out on the next one. We'll see you guys soon.